Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kane says no to Lily's farewell, and Claire tells Kyle Cole's dead. The Young and the Restless recap for Tuesday, July 29th reveals that Kane Ashby will say goodbye to Lily Winters, while Haley Erin's Claire Newman reveals Cole Howard's death to Kyle Abbott. In Kane's office on Tuesday's Y&R episode, Amanda Sinclair will talk about the bodies being taken away and the police clearing Kane. However, Kane will still blame himself for all the deadly drama that played out with Damian Kane, Chance Chancellor, and Carter. Kane will insist on sticking to his original plan in Genoa City, despite all the chaos and enemies. Amanda won't be so sure that's the right call, but she'll refuse to bail on him now. In the meantime, Kyle will call Claire right away because his phone will ding to let him know he has cell service again. Kyle will talk about Kane, also known as Aristotle Dumas, the House of Horrors and the deaths that took place at his estate after he explains the stranded situation. Claire will also find out that Nick Newman got injured, but Kyle will offer reassurance about her family being safe. Claire will admit that Cole has passed away when Kyle inquires about him. Kyle will be astonished by that information and wish he could hold her. Kyle will vow to be home soon and will feel terrible about not being there for Claire while she's been grieving. After the conversation wraps up, Kyle will give Jack Abbott, Diane Jenkins Abbott and ultimately Audra Charles updates on Cole's demise. Kyle will basically hold Audra responsible for dragging him on this trip when he ought to have been at Claire's house. Audra will be sorry about Cole, but she won't think she should be held responsible for Kyle's actions. Once talk turns to Vibrante and how Victor hasn't yanked it away from Audra yet, Kyle will feel confident that's still coming since Victor Newman doesn't let failure go unpunished. After speaking with Nikki Newman over the phone and learning about all the homicides, Victoria Newman will descend to the Tack house. However, neither Claire nor Victoria will know who died. Claire and Victoria will be torn over whether to move forward with their mini-memorial plans now that the Newmans are coming home. Nate Hastings will show up in a suit for the service, but he'll agree with Claire when she wants to wait until they have more support around them. Even though Nate will say that Audra called him, he will also say that she wasn't alone and couldn't really tell him what happened. Instead, Lily will call Nate with the shocking news about Damian's murder. Nate will be concerned about how this will shatter Amy Lewis and will ask numerous questions about how everything transpired. Once Nate hangs up with Lily, he'll fill Victoria and Claire in on Damian's grim fate. Victoria will have a chance to comfort Nate while he tries to understand everything. On the train, Billy Abbott will wonder if Phyllis Summers has given any more thought to the alliance he pitched. Phyllis will confess that she's intrigued, but she'll wonder why she should trust Billy again after his betrayals. Billy will also say that he told Melissa Ordway's Abby Winters about Chance's death, but he will think that Kane should tell Jill Abbott. As for Billy and Jack, they'll share some tense moments before Billy suggests they have some changes to talk about back home. Billy will want more information from Phyllis, but he won't want to jinx it and will think they can talk about it later. Lily will be in her train car when Kane throws everything off his desk in a fit of rage. Kane will be apologetic and admit he's going to be haunted by the deaths on his property as long as he lives. Although Kane will hope to make this right somehow, Lily won't see how that's possible. Lily will think this is goodbye, but Kane will refuse to believe their love has just evaporated. She'll try to convince Kane that no one wants him in Genoa City when she finds out that he still intends to return there. Kane will offer up an until we meet again and leave Lily looking distraught at the idea of her ex returning to her hometown. The air was thick with tension in the Abbott estate, where grief hung like a heavy curtain no one dared to pull back. Claire Newman paced the edge of the grand foyer, her fingers clenched tightly around the old locket Cole once gave her the last memento of a life taken too soon. Outside, the world kept moving, but inside, time seemed to have frozen. Claire's voice trembled as she turned to Kyle Abbott, who stood motionless, staring at her with wide, hollow eyes. Kyle, he's gone. Cole's dead. Kyle felt the words hit him like a blow to the chest. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. His throat tightened, and the world blurred around him. No, he whispered, stumbling backward until his back hit the wall. Claire, don't say that. Don't you dare say that to me. Claire's eyes welled with tears, but she didn't look away. I didn't want to believe it either. But I saw the proof. The body. Kyle, I identified him myself. There was no mistaking it. Cole is gone. The words echoed in Kyle's head like a nightmare on repeat. He had promised himself that he would protect Cole, no matter what. He had sworn, after everything they had been through, that no harm would ever touch his cousin again. But now it was too late. And the guilt was unbearable. Meanwhile, across town, the storm between Kane and Lily had reached its breaking point. After everything they had endured, betrayals, losses, moments of fragile peace, Lily had finally made the decision to walk away. But Kane wasn't ready to let her go. Not now. Not ever. Lily stood in the dim hallway of their once shared home, suitcase in hand, eyes red from crying. Her voice cracked as she looked at Kane. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't live in this pain, in this cycle of promises and heartbreak. I'm saying goodbye, Kane. But Kane's eyes blazed with denial, his jaw clenched tight. No. You don't get to do that. You don't just walk away like this is some casual affair. We have a life, Lily. We have history. Lily interrupted, her voice rising. We also have wounds that never healed. You lie to yourself, Kane. Every time I tried to come back to you, you pushed me away, or pulled me into your chaos. And I can't keep drowning in it. Kane stepped forward, shaking his head furiously. I messed up. Yes. I lost myself. But everything I did was because I loved you. Because I thought, if I held on long enough, you'd see we were still worth saving. You don't hold on to someone by trapping them, Lily said, her voice barely a whisper. You let them go when love becomes pain. And right now, I need peace more than passion. I need freedom more than fire. Kane's voice dropped low, almost feral. So that's it? After everything? You're just done? Yes, Lily said firmly, but the tremble in her chin betrayed the depth of the heartbreak she carried. I'm saying goodbye, Kane. But Kane refused to accept it. He snatched the suitcase from her hand and hurled it across the room. You're not leaving, he growled. You don't walk out on us like this. Not when we can fix it. Not when I'm still standing here, fighting for you. Lily stepped back, fear flickering in her eyes. You don't get to decide how this ends. His chest heaved, fists clenched. No. You don't get to rip my heart out and call it closure. There was a long, painful silence between them, broken only by the ticking clock on the wall. And then, as if a switch flipped inside him, Kane's expression shifted, softer, more desperate. Please, Lily, don't go. I'll change. I'll do whatever it takes. But Lily, with tears spilling freely now, simply whispered, it's too late. She turned and walked out the door, leaving Kane in the shadows, breathing hard, trembling with rage and sorrow. He didn't follow her. Not yet. But his eyes told a dangerous truth. He wasn't letting go. Not really. Back at the Abbott mansion, Kyle sat in silence, still grappling with Claire's words. How did it happen? He finally asked, voice hoarse. Claire swallowed hard. They think it was foul play. He'd been missing for days. They found his car near the old mill, burned out. The body, it was barely recognizable. But the ring was still there. His initials engraved. There's no doubt it was him. Kyle ran his hand through his hair and let out a choked breath. We just talked last week. He said he was handling something. He promised me he'd be careful. Damn it, Claire, who would do this? Claire hesitated. That's the worst part. They think it might be connected to Carter's disappearance. Maybe even Kane. Kyle's head snapped up. Kane? She nodded solemnly. I don't know anything for sure. But there's talk. Rumors. Connections no one's willing to say out loud yet. But the pieces, they are starting to form a picture. Kyle stood abruptly, his voice trembling with fury. If Kane had anything to do with this, if he even touched Cole, I swear to God, he'll wish he had died instead. Claire stepped forward, trying to calm him. Kyle, we don't know anything for certain yet. Don't go down a road you can't come back from. Kyle stared into the distance, eyes glazed with vengeance. Too late. I'm already halfway there. As the hours passed, the weight of death and separation lingered in the air like a ghost. Lily found herself sitting alone in her hotel room, the suitcase untouched in the corner. Her heart was breaking, but she knew she had made the right decision. Kane's obsession, His anger, it was suffocating. Even if part of her still loved him, she had to save herself. But what she didn't know was that Kane was watching from the street below. Sitting in his car, hands gripping the steering wheel, eyes fixed on her window. His world had just crumbled. First Lily walked out. Now the whispers were starting to reach him about Cole. About Carter. About the tangled web tightening around his neck. He lit a cigarette with shaking hands and muttered, "They think they can destroy me? Take Lily, frame me for murder, turn Kyle against me." He laughed bitterly. They don't know who they are messing with. At that moment, his phone buzzed. A blocked number. He hesitated, then answered. "Hello." A voice, low, familiar, dangerous, whispered, "We need to meet. Tonight. Same place." Kane's expression darkened. "You better not be playing games. I've lost enough." The line went dead. Somewhere in the dark underbelly of the city, secrets waited to be exposed, secrets that tied Cole's murder, Carter's vanishing act, and Kane's unraveling sanity into one twisted knot. Claire, meanwhile, sat quietly in Cole's old room, holding the locket close to her heart. She remembered his laugh, his warmth, his dreams. And now all of it was gone. She whispered, "I'll make them pay for what they did to you. I swear it." And Kyle, driven by rage and haunted by guilt, pulled out his father's old revolver from the hidden drawer in the study. He'd always sworn he'd never be like Victor, never play judge, jury, and executioner. But this time, revenge felt like the only thing left. Across town, Kane stared into the mirror, trying to recognize the man staring back. A killer? A lover? A broken soul clinging to a memory? He reached into the drawer and pulled out the photo of him and Lily, arms wrapped around each other, smiling like they had forever. He kissed the photo gently, and then whispered to the darkness, "Goodbye isn't the end, Lily. It's just the beginning." But as Claire prepared for Cole's funeral and Kyle mapped out revenge, a new twist quietly brewed. The coroner's report, never meant to be leaked, was intercepted. The body found in the wrecked car had one anomaly no one could explain. Cole's DNA, only partially matched. Claire's phone buzzed again with an anonymous message. "You're looking in the wrong grave. Cole isn't dead. Yet." And just like that, the storm was far from over. Kane remarries Lily and helps raise Damien's child. According to the spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Billy Flynn's plan for Kane Ashby went horribly wrong. 3 deaths turned his hopes of reconciling with Lily Winters into the ultimate bad look instead. Since he is also the father of their twins, Lily was already disgusted by her former husband. That was before the death of Chance Chancellor at Carter's unstable hand. Damien Kane was murdered by Carter, who believed he was helping Kane. But that misguided outcome didn't open a path to Lily for Kane as Stauber's character hoped. Putting a knife in the back of Damien Kane in retrospect, the writing team deserves credit for adapting a deliberately sluggish storyline to a controlled remote setting. At first, Kane's estate was intriguing because it contained the maze, his office filled with monitoring equipment, and multiple compartments for train cars. But viewers grew frustrated in parallel to the trapped character's agitation. The shocking thrust of a knife into Damien's back after he and Kane were given drugs appears to have been intended to create tension in this stretched story. It was great television to see Kane holding the suddenly deceased Damien while Michelle Stafford's Phyllis Summers spotted them. That served to instantly reveal why the slow drip, complex storyline was actually created. Lily Winters' life changes dramatically. Lily and Damien became close in recent months. The distrust she had for Nate Hastings' revealed brother evolved into something unexpected. While Damien was smitten from the start, Lily needed time to develop her feelings. That eventually culminated in this realized couple sharing a night together in a train compartment. The natural implication is that Damien will live on through a child Lily will have conceived during their time together. Carter did realize his goal, as eliminating Damien means Lily is single. Kane Ashby's goal was fixed. Kane said that his late father helped him become a billionaire. It is said that Colin Atkinson changed his life before he died. Part of that effort included helping his son to achieve what is being presented as immense financial independence. Kane used his achieved wealth to orchestrate a meeting at his estate in the south of France. Kane's intention of taking control of all noteworthy businesses in Genoa City, Wisconsin, always seemed far-fetched. However, despite her current feelings for him, his intended reunion with Lily is now possible, though a lot of plot will need to play out for that to be a realistic goal. Lily does not want to fall in love with Kane once more. However, feelings will lighten once everyone returns to GC, Damien's and Chance's funerals are held, and summer and fall episodes play. Remnant love exists between Kane and Lily. Flynn's recast character holds that card, but he'll need your patience as he starts over in a hostile setting that was made for him. The summer skies over Genoa City were bright, but the emotional storm that had been swirling around Kane and Lily for years had only just begun to calm. After everything betrayals, secrets, murder, separation, and heartbreak, they stood across from one another in the Chancellor Mansion, hearts exposed, souls threadbare, and yet something in their eyes still whispered of love. A love that refused to die. A love neither of them had the courage to kill. Kane's hands trembled as he gently took Lily's into his. She looked weary, but determined. She had fought her battles, faced her demons, and walked through fire, only to come back standing taller. And now, with Damien gone, a chapter had ended. But it had left behind a child. A little boy with Damien's piercing eyes and Lily's quiet strength. A child conceived in confusion, born in chaos, but innocent of the sins that created him. His name was Milo. The wedding wasn't grand. It wasn't meant to be. This time, there were no lavish flowers, no crowd of socialites, no glittering media coverage. Just the kids Charlie and Matty standing beside them, tears in their eyes, finally watching their parents choose one another again after so many years of hesitation and hurt. Devon gave Lily away, pride battling pain on his face. He had never fully forgiven Kane for the damage done in the past, but he saw the change. Saw the man Kane had become. Not perfect. Not even whole. But better. More grounded. Ready. As Kane slipped the ring onto Lily's finger, there was no pomp, only a quiet vow. "I lost you once," he whispered, his voice cracking. "But I swear, I will never let you go again. I will love you, Lily, with everything I have left." She didn't speak right away. Her eyes glistened with the burden of memory. She had doubted this day would ever come, but here he was. "I never stopped loving you," she said. "Even when I hated you. Even when I couldn't look at you. And I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I know I want to face it with you." The applause was soft, mostly just sighs of relief from family members who had watched the roller coaster of their love story for years. But none clapped louder than Matty, whose soft finally made Lily laugh through her tears. Kane had made peace with the ghost of Damien. His own guilt over his involvement in Damien's demise was a wound he'd wear forever, but he had accepted it. Therapy, truth, time, and Lily's grace had helped him. He didn't shy away when it came to Milo. In fact, it was Milo who softened the last jagged edges of Kane's heart.